Owen, morning, Tyler. Uh, we got all the stuff. All right. What's up, folks? Today, the stream, main things I wanted to go over was if anybody is in the EU who is working on trying to expand their business in the United States, I'm out there, how to deal with tariffs, that kind of thing. If anybody needs ideas with finding a product, I have a fairly generic sort of way of looking at that, which is if you need help finding a product, you need to find a product that you love, and then you go start trying to sell that, and you make 20 of those. What's up, Frowbox? Kalung. Hey, what's up? Brenty, what's up, man? So yeah, let me know what else anybody has going on there. I haven't started a business yet, still small hobbyist. Hey, EU, Tyler Soares. Which part of the EU are you in? If you're looking to start up a business, what are you looking to go do? Yeah. Or are you planning to start up a business? Or are you just are you planning to be in a hobby the whole time and you run into my streams because this is where we do stuff? What's up, Frogbox? How's it going, man? Okay. Yeah. What else, folks? We are running through. Let's see here. Updates to Teleport. So did facelift last week, or the week before last week. Got an update push going out tomorrow that will tweak some of the things with the new push. Hey, Carlos. More prototyping, but want to include welding as well. Oh, Tyler, that's kind of a... so you're trying to go add in like more machine or metal or that kind of stuff? Or are you wanting to put in more CNC machining and that kind of thing? Hey, the 3D man and the 3D daddy. Frowbox, are you the CEO of Teleport? Technically, yes, I'm the CEO of Slant 3D. Slant 3D is the company that makes Teleport. I'm the founder of the company. But so yeah, if anything that happens, it's my fault. That's what that job means. I do character modeling for toys on a 3D printer. Can you give me some suggestions? If you're doing character modeling for toys and you're in the EU, the thing you'll probably want to do, make sure they're online, make sure people can get a hold of them. Are you doing Patreon? Patreon can be really good for character modeling and that kind of stuff. You may look at selling the actual prints themselves. Selling the prints can be a good way of increasing your revenue above just the models themselves. Now, I know you don't want to run a print farm and that kind of stuff because you're working on the models and it's a great business. But if you're fighting with how to expand your business, selling the models through like a service like Teleport can be a good option. That way people can get a hold of the models without having to purchase printers themselves. And that lets people just get the thing without having to deal with a bunch of muss and fuss. And since there's a lot more people out there who own or want stuff but do not own 3D printers, there's a lot more people without 3D printers than there are people with 3D printers. That it is a really good market to approach because there's just more of them out there. Slant 3D is the reason I'm in business. Hey, thanks, man. Are you using Teleport? What do we do? Or did I just get you to start or something there? Like, give me the story there, 3D man. Don't have the funds to get big machines. Just here to listen. Thanks for your guidance. No problem, Tyler. Appreciate you stopping by. Literally, yeah, if you don't have funds for machines, connecting into services and that kind of stuff can be a really good way to do it. Do you ever think about getting into construction 3D printing? Fad. So we operate a large printing company. Our main thing is FDM. So we operate one of the largest print farms in the United States. So using Teleport is like getting 1,000 machines for your business because you plug in a Teleport and you get access to our mega farm, which is spec'd out for 3,000 machines. So we're doing a lot of that. I'll never say never, but construction is kind of out of our wheelhouse because what we're working on is about just making products easier to create so that anyone in the world can create a product and get it delivered to people. That's what we're working on to get done. Because 5 years ago, it would cost $100,000 to start manufacturing a product, getting molds and all the rest of it. And we wanted to create something that allows anybody anywhere, from a kid in a dorm room to someone in Africa to someone down the street, to be able to create a product just by uploading it, and then it's good. And then it's in production. And we've basically done that with Teleport and Portals, to where anyone in the world can now start making and selling a product for free. And that's really exciting. And there's a lot more work to do on that because the 3D printing world is so small. So we're probably not going to do construction printing for a while. Trimec Tech 3D French. Hey, what's up? We got France. How's it going, man? I had an intern who worked for me a year or two ago who was French. He was exceptional. He was an exceptionally good mechanical engineer. And he didn't even smoke cigarettes that often. But I'm using Plasticity for designing my products. Do you think it's a good software for product design, or should I bite the bullet and pay for the large cost of Fusion 360? Alexo addicted. So Plasticity is fine. Plasticity is kind of a sculpting software to where you're pushing and pulling stuff more. So that is, it limits you because Fusion is better at like engineering models, I think. I haven't used Plasticity in a while, so I always view it as a sculpting software, not like a make a square box and put holes in precise locations software. But there is all kinds of things. It depends on what you're doing. If Plasticity is doing what you need it to do, then you're good. There's no reason to change stuff if it's doing what you need it to do. The reason to change a tool is you're trying to do something else and your current tools don't work. That's when you change your tools. Meath 007, how can we do an internship in your farm? So here's the thing. We used to do internships a lot. We've kind of reduced the number of internships that we do because I think it's really important that if you're doing an internship, that you get a lot of value from it and that you're also useful there. Most internships, you go to a place, you serve coffee for 6 months, and then you leave. But that's not very good because the company doesn't get any work out of you, and and you don't learn anything. So currently we're not doing internships here for 2026 because we just don't know how to do it to where it's useful to you, but also useful to us, and not just bringing in a kid who wanders around for 3 months and then wanders off. We'll bring them back once we figure out what like that process is and what the experience is that's good for you. But until then, we got to work something out. I won't stop you from applying. If you're a rock star and you're just like, want to work here, I'll show up on Monday or whatever it was and just knock on the door or something. We'll probably find something for you to do. But if you're just looking for an internship kind of generically, we're probably not the right option for you. Do you recommend selling my own models? If you're selling models, it's a really challenging thing because selling models, you end up giving away your models. Every time you sell a model, you lose the chance to, you lose the model. Whenever you sell a model, you lose the model because that person then has a downloaded file of the STL, which anyone else can get a hold of, or that person can resell or post on Etsy or whatever. Like as soon as someone downloads your model, you have lost control of your model. So I am not a huge fan of it because it's so dangerous. The better options are to sell the prints themselves. You can still sell models a bit through like a Fangs or a Patreon because they're building up some infrastructure around protecting the files, but the files are so valuable because they're the process by which to make something. Oh, selling a 3D printed thing that I modeled. Yes. Yes, you should absolutely do that. Yeah, if you're selling, yeah, go ahead and sell prints. Prints is better. The reason prints is better, like fundamentally, is the fact that way more people there are way more people without 3D printers who need stuff than there are people with 3D printers. So selling the 3D printed thing just gives you a bigger market with more people out there in the world. Okay. I want to do an internship because I already own a printer and I want to learn more. Meath 007. The internship, the thing that's dangerous about owning a 3D printer and wanting to learn more is that you might have bad habits already. Home 3D printers create really, really bad habits around how to do stuff, which generally at an internship at like a production farm like us, we're training you to stop having those bad habits. So that's the thing to watch out for. Okay. What else? Hey guys, what's up, Wesley? Wetterski? Ibrahim? Team? So you don't think the Washington law will encourage other industries to compel legislation to make certain items illegal? Other industries aren't going to care. The guys, like with the Washington bill, it is good that people are being active about it, but like there's no actual action that can be. I don't know what the action to be taken is. Everybody's like, watch out for this bill. It's going to happen. I'm like, great. What do you want me to do about it? Do you want me to show up and do a hearing someplace? Do you want me to call somebody? I'm not a Washington resident, so I'm not allowed to call one of their congressmen because their congressman won't care. So what is the action item? As far as it being applied to other industries, desktop CNC isn't really a thing. Real CNC is a thing, has been a thing. 3D printing is the boogeyman because 3D printed ghost guns sounds good. Sounds like something that a politician should care about. But all of it is so small that no one should be worrying about it. It's just come up recently. So when somebody tells me there's some actionable thing to do about it, I'll do something about it. But right at the moment, like I texted Joel, a 3D printing nerd, the other day and said, like, hey man, what's up? Is there something I can do to help? And haven't gotten any good action items yet from it. So until then, I got to go on living my life, guys, because like it's just not worth the time worrying about this kind of stuff when there's other work to be done that you can actually have some control of. When it's going to rain, deal with the rain and go grab an umbrella. But don't say, oh, it's raining, my life has to stop. Let's see here. I know a guy that sells resin models. It's a good business. Yeah, there's plenty of folks. Like if you watch our YouTube channel, there are plenty of folks who are making more than $1 million a year, or certainly $100,000 a year selling 3D printed items. Yesterday, we had someone who was selling on portals, and on portals you get payouts for the number of items that you sell. There was a guy who got a payout for $562. He's a YouTuber, so he had some content already. I was just like, man, that's awesome. Good job, man, selling that much stuff through there. He doesn't have to run the printers themselves. The orders are automatically delivered for him. Like, it's a good gig. He just designed a really nifty camera accessory. It's a really great deal. See here. What's a match? Do I need to do anything in that step? Oh, so Fraubox, inside of Teleport, when you're setting up Teleport, you have your orders and you need to match a file to those orders or a couple of files. You match up. So if I'm selling a sweater pencil cup, then an order comes in for a sweater pencil cup. So I match up the STL and the color filament to this. And that will then print this color item with this file every time that order comes through in the future. So that match is the way of making sure that we're printing the right thing and shipping it for you. What are some of those bad habits, SSJ Dennis? Oh, so the bad habits from people who have home 3D printers that come into the factory are just like an understanding of time and priority. So someone with a home 3D printer, since it's a hobby, it's something that you obsess about. So if you're a hobbyist 3D printer, you have a couple of machines. If one of them breaks down, you got to fix it. So you work on the machine and change out the nozzle and polish it up and grease it 3 times a day and dust it off and all these sorts of things because it's your personal item and you care about it deeply. But in a factory, The job is getting parts out the door. So the priority may not be fixing machines, it's just reloading machines, which is not like one of the fun parts of the hobby. But it's the most important thing inside the factory. So we found folks who are hobbyist 3D printers obsess about tiny details. Rather, they don't see the forest for the trees, and they end up getting in the weeds working on like a single machine or a single project or something else there, rather than actually gaining ground on main production jobs. So yeah, it's just kind of a small-mindedness isn't the right word, but like an exceptional focus on a particular small detail that is fine if you're an individual, but not good in a factory setting. What's up, Rad Alston? Virginia, nice. As someone who doesn't have a background in engineering, but designing functional parts for clients, are there any books or resources you would recommend to help me become familiar with the fundamentals? BN1 VRAM. Our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel runs through all like basic sort of rules, fundamental rules about how to design for 3D printing to make sure stuff is manufacturable. Beyond that, there's not really books around the engineering or the design of 3D models. But quite frankly, if you look at books around like woodworking, a lot of those are really, really similar to how you interact with 3D printing. So Japanese joinery, that kind of stuff, much of that applies to 3D printing. Can you do a detailed video about snap fits and joints and how to dimension them such that they don't break off after 10 cycles? Lars, we have done one of those already. We have a video about snap connectors, or like connecting two parts together. And we talk about dovetails, and then we show off some snap prints there. There is one of those videos up on the channel currently, so it can be a good option for you. What apps do you recommend to start designing? If you're starting just out, you can get a free version of Autodesk. Shaper has a pretty generous one. If you've never modeled before, getting used to Tinkercad is not a bad idea. I've learned a lot from your channel. Oh, thanks, man. Good. Okay, cool. You've already got the channel. That's all you need. You're covered. I'm improving my bad habit of don't name any step of development projects. It's better to edit some step without finding the right one. Yeah. Getting that version numbering down is a good habit. Can I set the shop currency to something else than USD? I'm in Israel to not get currency conversion fees. Oh, for Alban, you won't get any currency conversion fees, but yeah, the stats and that kind of stuff should be showing in your local currency. We're doing a small update to that today, so currency conversion should be working well tomorrow. We have an update on that. Facelift was missing that little detail there. Let me write that down. I'll make sure to bring that up in the meeting today. We have our software scrum this afternoon. So yeah, if anybody has any notes or problems with teleport or portals, let me know. In Etsy itself doing currency conversion? Well, I don't have any control of that. I'm not sure. I think it depends on what country you're in. I think you can sell right into, I think you can set your currency. Even if you're in a different country, I think you can still set what your local currency will be. So I think that's the way to get it done. Does teleport support multicolor? Yes, we do. A couple of different ways. There's, of course, the standard multicolor that everybody's used to. You can get into that in the enterprise tier. And then there is, you can do, you can print like a pink jar and a yellow lid by just matching up those two separate files and setting the colors for each one of them. So that's another way of doing multicolor. Both of those are available as options for, multicolor inside of Teleport. My most selling item isn't great for mass production due to the design. I want to use your service, but I'm unsure how to get the supports created to make it mass producible. Can we email about it? Grenade558. Yeah, go ahead, email support@slant3d.com and send over your file, and we can take a look at it. And if we think, oh, it'll print fine, we'll go ahead and just run it for you real fast and send back some photos of what comes out. I assume you're doing like a character model that has like bat wings or something. That's generally what people are working on. Yeah. But yeah, email support@slant3d.com and we can help you out. Hey, how's it going, Bubble? Espen, Mohammed, Alex, Lauren. Ooh, a whole bunch of folks. What's up, guys? What else, you guys? What app? Oh, no, I had that one already. Okay. What else have we got? Hey, Timon. Let's see. We are with Teleport, like I say, a bunch of updates coming out tomorrow, kind of quality of life things. We did an update last Thursday. There was a push on that after we did facelift. So a number of smaller bugs got fixed then. And then, let's see, we have been working through, there'll be a couple of major feature releases in like the next 2 weeks or so. One around Etsy, and then another one around files. They'll actually probably both be coming out in about the next 2 weeks or so. I thought the file one will probably come out afterwards, but yeah, right at the moment we should be good. Let's see, who's around? Okay. How does adding in hardware kit works? I don't need assembly, just need it to add into the box. So electrify everything when you're adding in hardware, when you're creating a match. So you say, this order, gonna match to it, so that this SKU is matched to stuff. You select your file, and then inside of files you have components, and you click on components, and then you can add in whatever hardware you want. Screws, magnets, a wireless charging puck, and then that gets included in the box with it. And that's all you gotta do. It is just part of matching, so it's really fast and easy to add in hardware. Hey, Uru Labs. How's it going, man? Tritiforma, what's up? How's it going? Do you have options for build plate size larger than 2020 Teleport portals? I have a print that's a bit larger than those dimensions. Hey, Linear Adonis, we do. You can get a larger format at the enterprise tier. So like if you've been producing on like a bamboo machine or something, you can get that build volume out when you need it. Just want to say that you've inspired me to get into 3D printing, and I'm starting a business soon. Oh, awesome, Uru Labs. What are you doing? What kind of stuff are you selling? You're going to use Teleport? It gives you 1,000 machines on demand whenever you need them. Let's see. Yeah, Teleport has been such an interesting project because we get to work with people who are building really awesome stuff, and they get to finally build really awesome stuff, because it's so difficult to build a factory, guys. Like building out a print farm of 20 machines turns into a giant job on the side that doesn't generally pay for your living. So it's so cool when we see these folks who are kind of cottage businesses get started out on Teleport and then grow really, really big, because they get to do something that is just wasn't possible a couple of years ago. Sweet, using Teleport, nice. Thanks, man. Let me know if you. We do these streams every day. This is an experimental time. I'm going to try to do them kind of early morning-ish like this again. Not great for folks who are in California, but better for people who are in Europe, and a lot of people in Europe kind of utilize this, so we're working with that. Yeah, let me know. But I should be available basically every day for like an hour or so that anybody can get any help that they need, or I can point you towards what you need. So yeah, if you need any help, let me know. What's up over here? You people, what do you got? What do you think about expensive engineering materials like PEEK, PEC, PDM, or POM? They're good. Like PEEK and all the rest of them have a lot of utility. So yeah, I think they're very useful. They have their place. They're tough to work with. They were designed or created by like Stratasys. So yeah, they're difficult to work with, and they're designed for Stratasys machines. But it's really high value stuff if you can make it with it. A lot of it isn't necessary though anymore, because like nylon, carbon fiber nylon prints more easily and is better in some ways. It just doesn't have the same like temperature resistance. Can you explain how I can price my products? Currently making a collection of EDC items. Uru Labs, I don't know what EDC means. What's up, Tora, Timo, Danielle? But the way to price is, if you're just starting out, a simple way of pricing is take whatever the manufacturing cost is and triple it. So if it costs $5 to make the part, you need to sell it for 15. We have a tool, 3dprintpricecalculator.com, that you can use that will let you, that will help you with that pricing. It'll walk you through what all your costs are and that kind of stuff. Let me go ahead. How do I comment on my own stream? Am I not able to comment? I'm not able to comment on my own stream. Weird. Okay, fine. But yeah, just use 3dprintpricecalculator.com, and that's will give you the resources you need. How do I find best-selling items on Etsy from Israeli shops? I'm still thinking on if I'll use teleport or sell here in Israel. So for Owlbox, you can localize Etsy to just Israel, and then you can find what people have around. But the problem with Israel is that you guys do not buy as much stuff as people inside the United States. So the US is a much bigger market. We have a lot more people who spend a lot more money. So pretty much everyone should try to sell into the United States. The issue you have in Israel is that you have import costs and tariffs. It takes a long time to ship. It gets caught in customs. You have tariffs. It costs a lot for your customer. So there are, this is kind of one of the reasons we built Teleport, so that you can have items delivered inside the United States and not have tariff costs. That gives you way more products that you can make. You can make way more money because you just have a conversion rate from there. You get to sell it for $20 in the US and then have it converted into your currency. But yeah, it just eliminates international shipping costs, but lets you ship and sell into this market, which just gives your business so much more room to grow and so many fewer challenges than trying to get water from a rock in some areas. I don't know what the current economics are in Israel. Like, you guys are doing okay, regardless of the situation in the world, but like, you guys are also in a spot where your business can get hurt pretty easily, pretty suddenly. So setting up something like Teleport is a nice external system that creates cash flow for you that is much safer, because you get to sell into the United States. It's a print farm that you don't have to operate inside of the country, which lets you focus on creating products, marketing products, which can be done from anywhere at any time, all the time, so long as you keep an internet connection or a phone on you. Everyday carry, small containers or medicines, makeup, charms. Nice. Those will do well. Uru Labs, if you can do that well, you'll do well. Let's see here. Mostly useful studio. Can't edit in basic mode. Can't edit in basic mode? Let me see here. Here's portals. Great. Edit. I'm able to edit in basic mode, dude. Are you on mobile or are you desktop? Hello. Yeah, give me some more info about what's up. Oh, wait, no, I'm seeing. Oh, interesting. No, I am seeing a bug here. Okay, what's up? Interesting. So the save button. Oh, I think basic mode is restricting. Oh no, basic mode is working. Wait a second. Let me do this. Basic mode is working, just like not on first try. Interesting. Like, there's a weird, okay. Weird sort of a bug to where if you go into advanced and then come back out, something works there. Okay, we'll get that fixed, man. I gotta mess with it a little bit more to see if I can get it created, but yeah. You seem like a great guy. That will be a sub for me. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. Hey, you already You got already a date for your farm in the EU? Oh, we don't have a date for the farm in the EU. We're really building out the United States because the US is like the biggest market. So anyone in the EU wants to sell into the United States. So we need to reduce shipping time inside the United States, get as many factories over here as we possibly can to make sure the US is covered. And then we'll go to the EU. So I don't have an exact date when our EU factory would be going in. What will numbers be? When will numbers be implemented in portals? Numbers are implemented in portals. The views for each one show up inside of the portals, and then your sales per portal show up in the analytics page of Teleport. So those are all there. Asked to select filament. Yeah, well, it wasn't the filament that I saw as the issue. The save, yeah, you select the filament. That's all good. Oh, well, now it's letting me edit. Yeah, I can't recreate it. Yeah, on desktop, it's working fine. Yeah, I can't edit cookie cutters, this thing. Sweet. Oh, no. Yeah, I can't recreate the bug that I saw in that first one. The first one, I had deleted the file. That's why I couldn't save it. And it wasn't until I went back that the file disappeared. We'll try to get it recreated. If mostly Useful Studio. If you can email support@slant3d.com with a screenshot and like a sequence of events that you used that got you to the spot. That way we can recreate it. Because I can't actually recreate it right now. How far would you have to modify an STL before it can be considered your own? Don't know. Modifying an STL is a little bit weird because legally it's what a judge thinks. Inside of the 3D printing community, if you start with someone else's STL and then modify it into something different, that would still pretty much be considered theft by the community because you're using their STL as the basis for what would become a commercial product. And if you need to modify it so far that it's different, just start from scratch. That's a better way of doing it. Yeah, don't modify someone's STL beyond recognizability because that's just that you're using their STL. Do you recommend to always have a 3D scanner when starting a 3D print business? Intend to sell, not the useful stuff like keychain. A 3D scanner can be useful, but it's a lot of work and it's very expensive. And generally what you end up doing is you scan stuff that shouldn't be 3D printed. So like this keyboard is designed to be injection molded. If somebody sent me the files for this keyboard and said, Gabe, can you print this? I'd be like, I don't want to because it's designed for injection molding. So it doesn't have the features that are necessary in order to make it nice. You want to design 3D printed stuff to be made with 3D printing. Otherwise, you end up with all kinds of problems. Hey guys, what's up, Mohammed, Nemesis, Perez? Do you recommend in-house 3D printer as a business for testing, prototyping, or local 3D printing service? Going to use Teleport for the final products. I would recommend having an in-house printer because you want to prototype, like I say, prototype and kind of verify parts before sending them along. You want to make sure they're robust. You want to make sure they look the way you want to. You want to take photos of them, though we will be dropping stuff about that here fairly soon. Yeah, so those are all things. Yeah, definitely have a print. If you're starting up a 3D printing business, you should have a printer around somewhere. Let's see what we got. One of the reasons I bought a 3D printer is to make money with it. Maybe should have digged more. Oh, a 3D printer? No, yeah. A 3D printer is very useful to have, and you can still operate inside of Israel there for Albox, selling items into Israel. But like to really scale up your business, having access to the United States is one of the best things that you can do. Other than marketing on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, what other methods have you seen success with clients? You pick up the phone and call them. Like Grenade 558, if you're trying to get customers, you have to go talk to customers wherever they are. This can be Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. It can be going to a trade show. It can be going to a craft fair. It can be wandering into someone's factory and saying, hello, I do 3D printing. What's this? None of those are comfortable. None of those are easy. If you're not able to deal with that, you shouldn't start a 3D printing business, because the marketing of the business is one of the parts of the business. If you want to start up a business, you have to become comfortable with some part of communication, because that is your job. You have to communicate with people. So I think video is one of the lower effort ways of doing it, because I can do it whenever. And also there's no stakes here. If this goes wrong, nothing goes wrong. Whereas when you're in person with people, things go wrong. It feels really awkward. Video, it can feel really awkward too, but that's mainly self-inflicted if you create it really awkward. So you just do whatever you want. Once you get used to video, you can do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter because you just are used to it. So none of them are easy. You just got to get used to them. Or hired someone to communicate. I 3D print for a company, which are high strength prototypes out of PACF12. Kneeling for 16 hours and everything. I'm still unsure on what to charge for it. Whatever your cost is for a CF part, I'd say whatever your cost is times 5 minimum. And your cost of labor, your cost of material, all the rest of it. But it really depends on what your item is. So I don't have a good solution for you. What is it worth to the customer? This is the thing about pricing that everybody gets wrong. Everybody approaches pricing like this. They're like, well, for me to survive, I need $10 an hour. So I'm going to charge $12 an hour. That way I'm paying myself and I'm surviving and I'm making $2. But that's the wrong way of doing it, because it has nothing to do with what your cost is. It's like, rethink about it like this. Well, it costs me $10 to live, but I'm the only person on the planet who knows how to do this. And the person who's using me is going to earn $100,000 off of this thing. I'm going to charge $1,000 an hour, even though it cost me $10 to live. What is your value? What is it worth to the other person in a reasonable way? So going top down rather than bottom up is a way better way of pricing. Or I hire someone to communicate with people. You can do that, but now you just made it really expensive to communicate with people, and less sincere, and with people who don't understand as well. Like, guys, there's a reason I do the live streams. The reason I do the live streams is because I know the most about what's going on inside the company, but I am also able to communicate to people. But when somebody asks, hey, Portals has this bug, I know where to go look in Portals and use it. Not everyone in the company knows how to do that, because not everybody in the company was involved in the building of these things. So hiring somebody can be good at a certain stage when that person can be a subject matter expert around a particular area and can do it. Otherwise, they're just an expensive intern. It's just how that goes. Okay. How to convince all the haters to say 3D prints are junk, low effort, and not robust to wear and tear. It's a battle. James Watt Music, don't say it's 3D printed. Just stop saying that you're selling 3D printed items. Show an honest, clear photo of the stuff, and that's it. The haters who say 3D printing is junk are mainly people inside of the 3D printing world, and people inside of the 3D printing world don't sell 3D prints and also don't care. So the customers, real customers, do not care that an item is 3D printed. They care that the item solves a problem and is good. Good means whatever. Layer lines are exactly the same as the layer lines in wood, and wood is a premium material. So just learn to design correctly, and it's not a big issue. That's the way of dealing it. You ignore the haters because they're not going to buy, because they're 3D printing nerds who want to be right, but they're wrong. 3D printing is as strong as anything else, and the layer lines don't look bad. And if you don't have a crappy printer or don't know what you're doing, you or actually know what you're doing, you will actually get good quality prints. Okay. So I've been trying to find a way to price my stuff. So far I came up with 4x material cost and $1 an hour on the printer. Probably not smart, but it seems to make a fair price. Material matrix, go to 3dprintpricecalculator.com and use that tool to check if your pricing is reasonable. You should price at a minimum of whatever that tool says, and then more if you can. So if your pricing is currently higher than what that tool says, then good. If you're not higher than that tool currently, then you need to increase your price. That is a good simple rule for you. But 3dprintpricecalculator.com. I'm just a hobbyist and the owner of a company. Just knew that I own a high-end 3D printer. Just kind of slipped into it. Nice. So you've started like prototyping and stuff for stuff at SSJ Dennis? How do I keep people from stealing my STLs on Etsy? Don't sell your STLs. Like if you're selling STLs and theft has been an issue, you should probably stop selling your STLs. Instead, sell the prints themselves. And you're going to say, well, I don't want to run a print farm. That's fine. You don't have to run a print farm. There are way more people without 3D printers who want stuff like this than there are people with 3D printers. So if you start selling, if you have a bunch of STLs, you can sell the prints. What you do is you take your Etsy store, you take all the files that you have, and you upload them to Teleport. And then you list physical listings for the items on Etsy. That way, people can buy the actual physical prints, and you don't have to do anything. Because if you connect Teleport to your Etsy store, when you get an order, this item is printed and shipped right to your customer for you, and you don't have to do anything. So it's just like when your files are automatically delivered to a customer. So it's a way easier way, and it's a great way of protecting your files, because no one ever gets access to your files. And you get a way bigger market because way more people don't have printers than do. So you get to sell more. It's more profitable because you can sell this thing for $6 or $10 and a file you can sell for $2 or $3, and then you lose control of it. So selling the prints can be a way better option. How do you combat the fact that your design will be copied by someone else? You don't give away the files, like I just said. But number one, the number of people who copy you, we have copycats all over the place for things like our Teleport software and other things that we do. There are other people who have print farms. Competition is part of it. So when you're in an intellectual property sort of business, designing stuff, creating software, writing books, making 3D models, telling jokes, your job is to keep moving. Keep on making your stuff better, creating new versions, doing everything you can to stay ahead. Because no one who designs products gets to design a product and then sit on it for 20 years making money. That doesn't happen. You are in a competition, so you have to compete. It doesn't stop. So like with Teleport, we have competitors of Teleport. Someone literally just cloned us. Copies us, they follow us to find out what features we put in, and then they put the features into theirs a month or two later. It's really frustrating, and I dislike it a ton, but it's part of the gig. But the good news is that we get to continue to iterate and push faster and harder than anyone else. So we keep on pushing. And we know that we're 3 months ahead of them, because we can come up with better ideas. And I know I also work harder for longer, so they'll eventually burn out. Thank you for helping out while you do advertising. Dennis Lesson. Yes, I'm happy to help out the community while I do advertising. Here's the thing. Advertising is not a bad thing unless it's an item that's not relevant. If everybody was watching this and then I said, you should go over to the flower shop and buy some flowers, everybody would be peeved at me. But the fact that Teleport actually really solves the problems for people is one of the big things that make it okay to advertise, because like it's a legitimate solution to a lot of people who have problems. People who are selling files and getting them stolen. Teleport protects you. People who are international and want to sell in the United States. Teleport gives you that ability. People who have 10 printers and want to have a life. Teleport gives you 1,000 machines that you otherwise wouldn't get a hold of. Those are all really good things. So I have no problem offering those as solutions to folks, because they help people out make their businesses grow bigger or do better. So yeah, I will absolutely promote it. Uh, Only possible since it's small scale and I knew them. I missed something earlier in your chat there, SSJDS. And I can charge them at the end of the month. So they design, send the file to me, and I print and anneal, and they send the part back next day. I know that they want to make it out of metal in the end. I told them I can't make it for free. If they're nickel and diamond, yeah, they're probably kind of a challenging client. I don't have a good solution for that. You might not raise the price on them, but make sure that you're making a living. What's up, RaxLab? I can comfortably say I use Fusion 360 pretty decently, but I'm not good at designing and engineering stuff like hinges, latches, bearings, etc. How do I improve my skill? Gotta practice, dude. That's the way you improve your skill. That's the way I have for you to improve your skill. With hinges and latches and that kind of thing, we may have a tool for you. We're building kind of a clone for Tinkercad that will have a bunch of hinges and that kind of thing just in it that you can then place inside of your models. So that is a way of getting around problems and issues. Frowbox, what did you miss there? What was up there? Is there a way to use my printer to get the price lower? Because I bought the printer mostly to make money. Not to get the price lower. You shouldn't go for a lower price. You always want to go for a higher price. So use your printer. Use your printer for prototyping and taking photography, and then selling in your local area. But literally, if you're selling on Teleport, you should be able to pay off a printer pretty darn quickly. We have a guy who was selling on portals. Yesterday, he got a check from us for $562, which paid off his printer. And he has earned quite a bit more than that selling through portals for a while. So yeah. What's up, Citizen? How's it going? 4356 Origami BJR. What's up, guys? How's it going? I don't like Instagram. Instagram is terrible at live streaming. What's up, y'all? Okay, let's see. My STLs are small and complex multi-part assemblies, probably not teleport appropriate. Type about it. Small, this big, this big, this big, 1 inch, 2 inch, 2 millimeters. Teleport, we recommend that the minimum size part on teleport be like 1 cubic inch or in that genre. So small parts aren't that big of a deal. We have improved teleport a ton. So even though that's still our recommended minimum size, people go smaller all the time, and we're able to do smaller all the time. So we've had people do like D&D miniatures like this big, and we've made the system work with them. So it's better than it used to be. What's up, Siren Song? Christian, how's it going? Is there a good training program for 3D modeling, especially for detailed resin prints? Shane Belize. I don't know of ones focused particularly on resin prints. Are you doing like miniatures, like D&D miniatures and that kind of thing? I don't have a good one. Persmaz sent you a request to be your viewer. What's up, Persmaz? Anyone can watch, some of your followers. Persmaz, what do you want to do on the stream here? Happy to bring people on, but yeah, what do you want? What's the topic? I can't let random people come on. Breakfast stream? Yeah, basically a breakfast stream. Here's a question. The face on which my white PLA prints print are getting a yellowish tint. What could be a cause? They are in our office, not exposed to sun or elements. Clean print sheets too. So the very first layer of a 3D print, especially for white, is super difficult to keep clean. White is the worst color for printing for that first layer. The yellowish tint can be from the start of your print when the nozzle first starts going down, has basically burned filament in it from the nozzle heating up and cooking the filament inside of it, which yellows it. The other thing is if your nozzle is just a little bit dirty, it'll slightly contaminate that first layer that is squashing up around the nozzle, because the first layer is generally somewhat squashed. And you're basically contaminating it with that really cooked ooze around the outside of your nozzle. So yeah, some white PLAs that are really cheap will yellow over time, regardless of UV exposure, just kind of a kind of chemical reaction inside of them. Because many PLAs are naturally yellow, so they will, when you add in white, you just get a yellowish white. That's also one of the reasons like we don't want to make white for Tangled. So those things. I have to admit that your recommendation of using fuzzy skin for ABS is a game changer for my motorcycle parts and minimal post-processing. Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's kind of awesome, isn't it? It fixed your warp and it made everything better, didn't it? I'm gloating. I shouldn't be gloating. Congratulations, but like, yeah, fuzzy skin on ABS parts is fantastic. Now, all you got to do is upgrade to ASA, and now you're in a material that also doesn't stink as bad or have as many terrible emissions and still operates the same and is UV stable. Because if you're making motorcycle parts, the ABS parts are going to char and whiten over time. So if you go to ASA, they'll keep their color long term. Just saying. Nomad is cool for sculpting and detailing. Can you speak to the steps you take to protect IP for designers customers sent in? I appreciate your content. So the biggest way that we protect IP for people who are submitting files to us is the fact that anyone who submits to us is protected by our NDAs, our terms of service, the fact that we can't use your files and that kind of thing. And it only stays on our servers. So many other, there are print services that like use print farm networks. They have to send the files to those print farms, which means they don't have control of the files. The fact that we are a full stack company where the printer, the control software, the main software, Teleport itself, the API is all us, we are the only people who touch the files. So if for some reason you submitted a file to us and then you see it out in the wild, you know that it was only us who lost the file. It didn't float around somewhere. And we're like, well, I don't know what happened. So we're able to protect stuff because all of it is on our servers. And ultimately, yeah, you have our terms of service and everything else to see how we protect the files. But also, just as a business, we don't stay in business very long if we were stealing people's files. Like literally last week, we had a designer reach out to us and say, there's someone selling on portals my files. And we're going through reaching out to that seller saying, hey, do you have a license for this? And if they can't cough it up, then we'll pull them. But again, that designer can come talk to us. So we're the ones who are actually able to clear it for him. Another one from me, Slant. I'm replying in regards to my first question. If I don't have a 3D scanner, how do I make car parts accurately? Oh, car parts are rough. You can use calipers. But yeah, car parts are rough. If you're making replacement car parts, again, it comes down to I wouldn't 3D print injection molded stuff. But if you have to make car parts, yeah, scanner is helpful, but it's still a mess. I pretty much use matte finish on all my prints. Yeah, matte is great. Matte colors and fuzzy skin makes a perfect part every time. I'd switched to a 0.2 millimeter nozzle overnight and spent several hours fighting adhesion issues on a cold plate. Counterintuitively, I fixed the problem by bumping up the nozzle and bed temps. Counterintuitive, Rax Lab, I don't think that's counterintuitive. Pumping up the bed temp always helps layer bed adhesion. ASA, another filament I will need to dial in. ASA, if your part is printing with ABS, it will print with ASA. Basically identical settings. 100C, 90 to 100C for the bed, and 245 for the nozzle, something like that. Fuzzy skin is beneficial on every material. Maddie7613, use fuzzy skin on everything. Can you tell me the measurements should I need to make snap fit designs? I'm stuck. You can guide me in any tutorial or video. A3D Products, we have made a video over on YouTube about joining 3D printed parts, and that one goes over snap fits. Though this has come up twice inside the stream, which means that we probably need to do a dedicated video that says snap fits inside of it. So I will get that out the door, and we will do that. We have also, actually, yeah, snap fits is a good video. I should do a snap fits video. Yeah, I'll do the snap fits video. There's a few tricks, and like all of them have been, there's a few new ones that we've created that are in different videos. So we will push to make those in different ways. Yeah. I'm in the US and I have a lot of customers who are in Europe. Do you know a similar company to yours out there so that I can submit my orders to and have them fulfill? Not right at the moment. Slant 3D is really the only game in town for really well integrated print farms. Europe hasn't quite caught up to it yet. How many parts are you making? Are you making 1,000 a month? We might be able to turn on our European office early. Maybe. What's better between linear rails and plastic wheel roller on an axis? Plastic wheel roller is a garbage way of doing it. Linear rails have their benefits. I'm not going to say they're the best way, but rolling wheels is garbage because the wheels wear out. They're rubber wheels. It was a poor man's way of creating a linear rail until linear rails got cheap enough. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. How do I get supported surfaces on ABS to look smoother? I'm using a top Z distance of 0.28. They break off, but looks rough. That's kind of supported surfaces. Eliminate the supported surfaces. Use a chamfer or a fillet underneath there, because supported surfaces always look kind of rough and terrible. Please place Slant Europe in Sweden so I can work there. Dennis, I'm sorry, I don't think it's going to be Sweden. Sweden's expensive. You know how expensive it is to put something in Sweden? A factory in Sweden? I'm not sure I can do it. So there's a seller in my country selling car prints. I'm not saying that they don't sell well. I'm just saying like that you can't manufacture them very well. I don't know what country you're in, Davin. If he's making replacement car parts, if they're like, when I think of car parts, I'm thinking of like the bumper or the dashboard and that kind of stuff. If they're making knobs and brackets and that kind of stuff, that's great. But you don't need a 3D scanner for those. Those you can design with caliper. You're in Indonesia, that'd make sense. So you're probably doing fine in PLA. PLA parts are kind of wrong for car parts, because especially if you're in Indonesia, because it's hot down there. And since it's hot down there, those PLA parts are going to fail very quickly. So he might be making money because he's just kind of jipping people and selling them the same part twice. And since there's no other options, that's just what they deal with. But yeah, I would say get some calipers and just run from there. Amsterdam is out of power and literally can't support more data centers there. Yeah. Please make a video about how much tolerances should I keep in mind while designing. I think we've done a tolerance video. Pretty sure we have done a tolerance video. We also have a 10-hour design video on YouTube that has like all of our tricks in it. That's our masterclass. Should my 3D printing for initial traction and cash flow, should my 3D printing business prioritize trend-based products, or should I immediately start building a distinct product line, even if growth is slower? So the question is, should you start prioritize trend-based products, or should you immediately start building a distinct product line, even if growth is slower? So your own product is much more scalable because you can focus on it, you can optimize it, you can make it as good as you possibly want, and you can get rid of bottlenecks in the road there. But trend-based products are great if you can download them from other people, because then you can get more of those to iterate faster. But they're trend-based, which means they're going to be unpopular after a while. If you understand your industry, you can create a product that is relevant 5 years from now, which means that you now have a business that is sustainable. It may grow slower initially while you're building up your business, but then long-term, you have way more power. We have a video about Travis at Shop Nation about how he's built up custom accessories for saws, but he's been working on it for 5 or 6 or 8 years, building up this business. And it's a great example of how he built up kind of the intellectual property over time, where he is now able to have a really good sustainable business. Spruce and Bam or Bamboo Lab for long-term small business. I have no idea, Cinesan. I don't use any consumer 3D printers, and I don't have a recommendation for one because they're all designed to be consumer electronics devices. They're meant to burn out after 2 years, and you go buy the latest version, which is not very good for a business. Oh, thanks, Davin. Appreciate that. Oh, that's a good idea. Doing contour tracing with some solder wire and then just build those up is a good way of doing it too. Yeah. All right, folks, we got about 5 minutes left, and then I got to go to work. We have a production meeting here at 9. Where's my watch? There's my watch. I need to get my watch. I need my watch. Yeah, any final questions here before we head out? I got to do a check on currency conversion, check on Portal's basic mode, see if editing is weird. And then we got to do a video on snap fits. And we run from there. What else do we got? Any other final questions that I can help with on teleport? Everybody good? Alrighty. We're going to wrap it up here in about 5 seconds. Thanks so much for coming up. Bye, guys. Anomalous. Abhishek, what's up, guys? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Alan Harabasam, no problem, man. Stop by anytime. We're going to keep on doing these streams. We may continue doing them here early in the morning. We'll see. Love your channel. Any tips on how to improve supports for 90-degree overhangs? 90-degree overhangs are the easiest ones. So you can decrease the spacing a little bit more. If you're printing at a 0.2 resolution, support should be about 0.22 away. That's the best way of doing that. Which brings up a great question. Now that you've cornered the market for print on demand and $10 filament, we have not cornered the market at all. We're one of the biggest and the first to do it, but that doesn't mean the market is cornered at all. I wish we had the market cornered. That life would be way easier. When can we look for a Slant 3D printer? We're not going to make a printer. We're not going to make the printer, and we're never going to make a printer. That's a whole different monster, and it's awful. Go back. All the printers are the same. It really doesn't matter anymore. Like, buy a printer, and every other printer makes something pretty similar. And if you design your part reasonably well, it'll work on any printer. Just make sure the materials match, and that's all you got to do. Yeah, Netty Wheelie. Thanks, man. Alrighty, fair enough, guys. We're gonna wrap it up right there. I'm gonna give it like 30 more seconds to get any questions out. Any last things? This is it. Send it through. We used to sell printers, Rax. We used to sell printers, and it was terrible because we thought we would sell printers to do prototyping for folks who were using our services. We're like, they need a printer that matches ours in order to make sure the part they make is the part that we make. And it was so much customer support because people would just buy them sort of in general, and they wouldn't know how to run them. And we'd spend more time helping somebody turn their printer on than making printed parts. And we were like, this is not what we're in business to do. Yeah, Frog. This is a stream for 3D printing. I do this almost every day, talking about whatever. Will multicolor 3D printers get more cheaper? They'll get more cheaper. I don't know if they'll get any better. No problem, Grenade. Have a good one. See you later. Rectify MTB. Good to see y'all. You guys are in here at the end of it all, but I'll say hi. What's up? I'll try. All right, fair enough. We're heading out. Have a good one, guys.